everybody. Welcome back to ROCKit. So glad to have you. Today, we are talking about the gubernatorial choice. And for those of you that don't know, gubernatorial simply means governor. It means governor. Don't listen to Lisa. It means governor. Don't listen to Lisa. You know what? She had us totally screwed up when we recorded this. I looked at the calendar and saw Gerber. I was like, are we talking about babies today? I am not prepared. But today, the gubernatorial choice. So we are going to kick this off with a would you rather. So today is, would you rather raise the minimum wage or lower taxes? Would you rather? You can only pick one. What would your choice be? Raise minimum wage or lower taxes? What would you ladies do?
Raise taxes.
Why?
I'll raise taxes because I feel like if you raise the minimum wage, everything else is going to go up, including the taxes. It's either one or the other. And so I feel like, at least with the taxes, I'll win one way.
And well, I mean, that's kind of how I hate to be selfish because I would want the families who are trying to provide living off minimum wage to have a little more money,
Yeah.
to work with. But then at the same time,
Okay, stop procreating.
I
did go there. Yes, because I get tired when I saw that the McDonald's workers was trying to get $15 an hour.
Right.
Yeah. And a girl was on there saying, I can't feed my kids and their fathers don't take care of them. I'm just like, when are you going to stop having all these children? So I'm like, get yourself
See, now she's thinking like a true Republican. But you know what? The dilemma here is the same dilemma that we're facing with the gubernatorial choice.
Very true.
Is everything's not going to be perfect. You have to kind of
compromise.
Do one or the other. And
Right.
a lot of the times when we're voting, we are thinking selfishly, like, what's in it for me?
For me.
Which is why when they tailor make their speeches, when they go to the African American community, they talk about what's in it.
They target you.
Yeah, what's in it for them. But you know what? I probably would rather have increased taxes as well. Just because if you, or did I say? Yeah. No, lower taxes. Scratch that. Lower taxes, not increased taxes. I would rather have lower taxes because
No, you'd rather have increased taxes versus a higher minimum wage. It's either you're going to increase the taxes or you're going to have a higher minimum wage, right?
No.
Either one of those, I'm not. I don't.
I'm like, no, it would be raise minimum wage or lower property taxes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would rather have lower property taxes because I know if we raise minimum wage, then all of a sudden the cost of living is going to go up because now everybody is making $30,000. So when I used to pay $2 for a coffee, I'm paying $7.
Right.
No, I don't want to.
And so I kind of would feel a ways about, you put all your time experience in to get these jobs, to make more money.
And then somebody else without it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. I feel like if you want to make a certain amount of money, then do your due diligence. Go to school, get a degree, do what you need to do, get a certification, get certified. Like actually apply yourself to come up. I think it's unfair when people try to hold somebody back. However, if the opportunity's there, seize it.
Yeah. So I guess I would have to go with lower the tax.
Yeah.
So we changed your mind.
I hate for those people. I really want you guys to be able to support yourselves. I mean, trust me.
I think about it like this: if the minimum wage goes up and then the cost of living goes up even higher, they're still back at less than minimum wage because they still won't be able to afford things. So,
that is a good point.
Because if minimum wage is increased, does that mean I'm going to get an increase?
No,
I'm going to stay the same. So all of us is going to be pretty much poor because I don't know. I mean, we all in the same boat because now I can't afford anything. My taxes went up and the minimum wage went up, so now I'm like,
but you're still at the same salary,
right? Yeah. So
okay. I think I'm gonna go with lower the taxes. It's like we're choosing what's the saying? The lesser evil. Like what's the saying? They're not the greatest choices.
Yeah, you have it. I do think I agree with that. I feel like this election really does present us with a choice, and I don't think it's like it has been in other elections where you may have a saint candidate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Those are the ones that scares me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's really about to happen with
yeah, because the saint, you know, there's no such thing
I
as
love
a
being
saint.
gung-ho about a candidate. I love being like, yes, I am for, you know,
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. This one,
I
I'm
like
like,
excitement too. With this one, I really do feel like we have to choose the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
I really do. I know you guys have heard, and then we're still talking about the facts. I know you guys have heard, you know, the the campaign ads, and you know them taking the jabs at each other. So one, I actually just heard this morning where
that's a lot.
where they talked about what was it, Bonner?
Yeah, I believe Ronner almost tried to blackmail a lady.
Right. Yeah.
To do her job.
Yeah.
If he tells you you need to fire some other executive or something, then that's what you need to do. I mean, when you sign, I feel like when you sign up for those type of powerful jobs, you need to execute.
Yeah.
And your morals and stuff has to go to the side. She probably didn't want to fire whoever she had to fire, but I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, it was probably harsh for him to say, okay, look, I'm gonna drown her in debt. I will sue her. Hope she doesn't have a family. He didn't have to go that far.
No, but you know what? That kind of makes it scary just because he's not even in politics. So that's another thing. Ronner does not have like a political base. He's very new to politics. He's a businessman. His wife is Democratic. Pat Quinn, he's been in politics for years. He worked under Harold Washington and, you know, the Harold Washington administration. Harold Washington did release a statement back then, though, saying he fired Pat Quinn. He wouldn't hire Pat Quinn to do anything. He handled business poorly with the city then, and, you know, it's kind of like, oh, ouch, what would that do now? So,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But it's like, even with those same points, one of the things that did excite me about Ronald was he was going to take a new approach of being a business owner and bring it to politics. Yeah. But then I find out that he's in like these trials with his own like nursing homes and things that he's affiliated with. So that's kind of like
even with the example that we gave about him saying, you know, we have to fire these people to make room in the budget. To me, that's like, okay, you don't even have a political base yet, but you are bullheaded like a politician.
Yeah.
So
okay, it's like who do you want to run? I mean, to run your state. Do you want someone who's always been in politics and they know how to play the game, or do you want someone who's a businessman who knows how to come from nothing and bring it to something? Because that's the person that I want to run my state.
Right.
He knows how to make money. Right. You know? And we need it.
Yeah, we do.
We need it.
Right.
We do.
But the thing about making money is that he still hadn't put together the plan. You know, if there's one thing I've learned kind of about tagging along with you with some of your political events is that if you don't have a plan, then that means you're really just walking in the office like, and I don't like that. At least, and I'm not saying you have to have all the specifics, but at least have some sort of guideline that you can tell us on how you plan to go about doing all the things that you're promising me.
Yeah, and I think that comes with experience. You know, like he doesn't have the political experience to do so.
I just think that sometimes you have to step into that role. As a businessman, if he steps into that role, then it's going to be like, okay, bam, I know how to do this. Bam, I know how to do that. And if I don't, I'm going to figure it out because this is what business people do. They think like a business person. But if you think in politics, you're thinking, how is this going to benefit me? I mean, in my family.
Yeah, or not even that. If you have that long legacy of politics, it's not even just about you and your family, but it's now about your constituents, people that put you there. You know, so you owe them. You know, it's not a free ride.
Yeah, but a lot of times they forget about us. I actually forgot about the people that I have voted for. Like, what happened? You forgot about me.
Stay tuned. We are coming back with none other than the ROCKit ladies, our own opinions on the vote.
Just do what it please.
They gave us red light cameras. They gave us traffic zone cameras. They started writing more tickets because of these requirements that you pay to park in park district land. These parking meters, they're expanding them contrary to the law. Initially, they had a fixed number. They gave us more. We have a fix for the parking meter situation. For the red light.
Got to be free. Come together right now. Over
Welcome
me.
back to the discussion. We are talking about the gubernatorial choice. Who would you choose? The lesser of two evils is what we decided we've come down to. They're both not the best choices. Just to do a quick recap, I know a lot of African American people kind of go with Quinn because you know they know him and they feel like he's a Democrat, so he's for black people,
and that's what you do.
And that's the common misconception. Being a Democrat does not mean that they are for black people
At all.
In my opinion, I think that Quinn has had 5 years to do what he was going to do.
It's been 5 years.
Yeah. He's had 5 years.
Girl, I thought it was like only a couple years.
No, he's had 5 years to do, you know, everything that he wanted to do. And not only that, I feel like, see, there's a thing called West Wing politics. And it's kind of like the dark side of politics.
Okay.
So with Quinn, you know, some of the rumors going around the West Wing politics is he set Blagojevich up to assume the position. You know, and that's a problem for me because number one, I feel like you're already, you know, you started out your first term the same way your predecessor did.
Shady.
You know, right, shady. And now you're saying, you know, well, I provided summer jobs and programs to who?
To who?
Where?
Where?
Not the African American.
One, because they closed those schools.
Right, right. Not the African American community that you come to get the votes from.
Right, because the white communities already have
jobs and opportunities and programs. They get, you know, they do get all of the benefits. That was, I didn't fire him sooner. And he's made a mess of the state. You've had 5 years, and under your watch, 55 Chicago public schools have closed. 55. Unprecedented in
all in urban communities.
All in urban communities, predominantly African American communities. So I'm having a hard time with that. Like I don't know. But with Ronner, you know, I know people, they don't like to even really entertain the thought because he's a Republican. But I believe we're really coming to a time.
I have changed my mind.
Oh yeah.
I am in a different tax bracket. I do not have time to be dispersing my money to programs I don't qualify for.
I know that's right.
Well, you know what? I'm in the same tax bracket, but I'm ready to give the new guy a try because we've seen what Quinn can do. And that was absolutely nothing but get us in a worse state.
Yeah, I know people are afraid because, you know, the last Republican that was in office, we went to war. Bush.
Well, the good thing about it is states don't go to war. You know, and then you have to think about it like this. No one candidate is going to have everything that you desire.
That's very
which
true.
is why our state was set up to do checks and balances. That's why we have Congress. You know, like even if, you know, any governor was to become governor, he can only do so much. He needs allies in Congress. Quinn has that, which is why we're in the state that we're in. Ronner does not have those allies. So I think it puts us in a better position as far as balancing.
Yeah, to balance it out. Yeah, that's true. I agree. Great point. I think that's
so that's how I was thinking. And here's another point, and this is something that I learned from my mentor, William Doc Walls.
Shout out to
But, you know, he taught me something that I didn't know before. So the state of Illinois, as well as the city of Chicago, is on a revolving debt program, meaning everything that we pay, we're paying with credit cards. So our bond rating is lower. We don't have any, if you think about it, like a house is not exactly the same, but if you think about it like a house, we don't have any equity in our state. So our bond rating is lower. So now when we're trading, whatever it is, goods and services, you know, it's not at that more efficient rate. We don't have, you know, there's no trust. Because our financials have been so shaky. So we're paying debt with the credit card. You know, and it's the same way as if you were doing it personally. You know what your credit report would look like if you were just paying debt on a credit card and you didn't pay anything off. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I can't put nothing on.
It's a struggle. Then your interest rate go high. You miss the payment.
And that's exactly what happens. That's what's happening now. So the bankers here, in Illinois, what we've been doing is they'll continue to give us money even though we are already in debt, but our interest rate grows higher and higher. Okay. So now we owe more money each year. We're more in debt. So it's hard for us as a state, no matter what your color is or what your race is, as a state, if the state goes under, all of us are in bad.
That's true.
A bad situation.
So somebody has to pay for that interest.
That's right. We have to pay that interest down. So what needs to happen is we need somebody who can come in and put the entire state in a better position.
Right.
And with both candidates, they're going to be losses. Jobs are going to be lost.
True.
You know, like you're going to lose your homes. There are going to be losses on both sides, but you have to think about the bigger picture and where it puts the whole.
Right.
You know, so, and I think if we had somebody who was more business minded, who thought, you know what, let me pay down some of Illinois' debt so that our bond rating can go up, so that when we trade, we're trading at lower interest rates. We're keeping more money. We're, doing all these things. Now we can attract businesses to Illinois because our interest rates aren't high. We don't have to tax the heck out of them.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of businesses stay here in Illinois because a lot of them are being sent overseas.
Yeah.
To other
it's
states.
Too expensive.
They're going to our neighbors. They're going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They're going to Indiana.
Yeah. It's too expensive to do business here.
Right.
And we need the business.
We do.
If you want, increased minimum wage, we have to have cash flow in Illinois. And right now we don't have the cash flow. The powers that be, there's money circulating, but it's not circulating to the people. It's being held in government. So I think we need somebody to come in, put Illinois back in a better position financially. And from there, I think it'll be easier for the people who are struggling to kind of dig themselves out of the grunge, because there'll be more opportunities.
That's true.
If he brings over more jobs, if he, decrease the debt value, that means that he really would have the opportunity to reduce taxes.
True.
Which would make life easier on all of us. So I don't know. That's my take. But
I know. Lisa Bronner.
And Lisa's on Rhonda because of those taxes. She is dead serious about those taxes.
Yeah,
I think my reason for going with him is, again, because I want to give the new guy a try, because I've seen Quinn's experience. But and I would be the first to say that Ronner does not have all the issues that I would find important even on his agenda.
Yeah.
When it comes to mental health facilities, the school, anti-violence programs. I know he show up at the black churches and talk, but he really doesn't have a plan implemented for any of the things that are important to me. But I still want to see, like he said, what he can do for the city as a whole.
Yeah.
The state as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the bigger picture.
Like what the budget is. I'm like, where do I get this information? If you are not already in government, they keep it so locked tight.
Oh, wow.
And then they can push out, fudge numbers. They can
Really?
companies do it all the time.
Oh yeah, my company is doing it.
Really?
Yes. Like they fudge the numbers. They'll put out numbers.
So you have been thinking you got the accurate report? Like, no, hell no.
Because it affects their bond rating too with the banks. See that the banks, we are really at the mercy of the banks because we owe them. We owe them money. Companies owe them money. So they have the right to review your financials and change whatever based on your performance. So when companies are looking to keep within good standing, or they know they may want to take a loan out or whatever in the next few years to enhance or invest in whatever they need to do, they will fudge those financial numbers. Definitely.
That is crazy.
They'll make it look like this quarter.
We did.
Everyone gets the bonus. We did great. And
then as soon as July comes, after the fiscal year, everything goes haywire.
Yeah, and that's why people wonder, like, how did that? I thought you were doing good, and your company just went under.
Yeah.
The thing about numbers is, people think that no, numbers are concrete. No, numbers are variables. They're subject to change. So it's tough. But the one thing I do like about Ronner is the fact that his wife is Democratic.
Oh, right.
So I think that, I don't know, in my mind or perception, I think that it brings some kind of balance, to his perspective,
because even if he's a Republican and he's so straightforward, she'll probably come around and say,
with a different perspective.
Look, as they say, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck, and she can turn it whichever way she
A happy wife is a happy life.
That's right.
So she can tell him a couple things, and he can, and tell her her views, and I think he would bend on something. So I think that's an awesome thing that she's Democratic.
And not only that, I've heard that she is also involved in a number of community programs with African American and Hispanic children primarily. So I know she's launched some stuff and she's working heavily like in the community. So to me, that's a good sign. I don't think any person or candidate is going to be perfect.
Right.
You know,
very true.
they're going to have, because they come from their own personal experiences and their views.
Right. And even though, you know, she works with the African American community, I don't know why none of my working at his companies, Ronald's company.
That is true. Now that was surprising too. I was like,
come on.
Yeah.
He has minorities, so he's fulfilling
women,
action.
Yeah, I'm like, but women, because they said that even with those minorities, like there was not one
black person.
Not one black person.
You can't find
it reminded me of when we went down to the city of Chicago and we went to like their open forum for like community development block grants. And you know, I got up and I spoke and I'm like, okay, so I went through your last year's financial report and you basically told the federal government that out of the $3.5 billion that you had, you couldn't find any African Americans to give it to.
Right, not one.
I mean, are you serious? But you specifically targeted the Austin and Inglewood area when it came to crime prevention.
Right.
You didn't want to target those.
I can't believe some of his statement on that, because it's like, where are you looking? Are you looking somewhere like Stanford in that area, you know? Or are you going to Inglewood talking about, there's no one qualified here?
This is where I'm doing business. So we want to give businesses that support. The vacant lots, that was a scheme that Jane Byrne and Richard Daley continued to push. They fast-tracked the demolition of buildings in our community. Remember I talked earlier about them putting putting houses where businesses used. Well, they did the same thing with vacant lots. We have to build them back up. But the way to do that is, if I give you $1 million, now you've got money to go and buy a property close by for manufacturing purposes. That's where that money comes in. And that's why.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We hope you guys not only enjoyed this, but were informed and educated. So we are going to give you guys some helpful information for voting. If you did not know, early voting has already started. Started October 20th, ends November 2nd. Election day is November 4th. That's a Tuesday. Actually, it's next Tuesday. Okay, so get out and vote. I mean, I would say go early, do the early voting so you're not standing in lines before and after work. But you know what? The polls are open from like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
True.
But go early. I'm telling you, these political people play all kinds of games. Machines gonna go down, everything. So if you can, like go early, get it out of the way.
Make your vote count.
That's right. Make your vote count. Make sure your vote counts. So if you're doing the electronic machine, to your right, there will be paper. When you vote and it scrolls up, check your paper. Make sure it's right. If it's not right, get the attendee. If you have to write down what happened and make her sign it, do it. Because it matters. You know, like if things go wrong and they want to build a court case, all of that information helps. So there you go. You must be a citizen and resident of Illinois. You must be 18 years of age to vote. You must have a valid ID or driver's license, and then absentee ballot. So the last day to mail in or cast your absentee ballot is October 30th. And for those of you that don't know what an absentee ballot is, it's basically a paper ballot that you fill out and you mail in when you are, let's say, away from your home. You went on vacation, you want to get an absentee ballot and vote, you know, in your absence, you can mail that in. They also do absentee ballots. Let's say you moved, you know, from one location to another, your ID still has the old address, but you moved to a new location. You can either go back to your old precinct to vote, or you can cast an absentee ballot. I'm not in favor of absentee ballots. However, it is an option.
You know,
She just taught me.
well, you know, sometimes I move a lot. You know, I'm a hobo. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes your name won't be on the list if you go to your neighborhood place. But if you make sure you just have your voter registration card, you can still vote at that new location. So just make sure you have it. I know they'll send it to you, so don't throw it away. Keep it. Take it to your new location.
Absolutely. And then another misconception that Winter actually brought up is,
you know, I date the ex-con. No, I don't. I do. They can vote.
She had to think about it. But ex-cons and felons can vote. Once you are released, you are able to vote. So that is a misconception. It is not true. If you are free, despite what your crime was, you are eligible to vote. And it's important that if nobody else vote, you vote.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to be put behind bars. So
you just can't get a gun.
Right.
Oh, no. Vote. Right.
You can vote. So register to vote.
That's right. We want to equip you to, you know, be prepared for this vote. Get educated. Do your own research. Let this be the beginning. So we are going to pose the question, who would you vote for?
Ronner.
Really, Ronner.
I think we are all in agreement with Ronner. You know what? I think that our older generational peers are going to look at this and be like,
they're gonna be shocked. They're gonna be so shocked.
They are not going to believe that really this younger generation, Ronner, he won the hearts of the younger generation.
He did.
Gwen didn't do such a good job of that, but you guys do your research. Let us know. Hit us up on Facebook. Let us know, who would you vote for? Thank you guys for joining us. We love you. Till next time.
I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me.